Call the Parks and Recreation Board Thursday, September 7th meeting to order, please. Can we stand and say the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, great. Why don't we start out in the crowd, do some introductions.
I'm Antoinette Bennett. I am the class manager for Parks and Recreation.
I'm Lindsay Epling with Parks and Rec.
Heather Flint, Senior Administration, Parks and Rec.
Shannon Loper, Director of Parks and Rec.
I'm Hank Amundsen. I guess I'm the new Chuck.
The new improved Chuck. All right, well, we got lots of new improved today.
I didn't say improved, I said new.
Oh, new. Oh, okay. Janae?
Janae Hayes, North
North Broad?
of Broad representative.
Okay.
Alan Arsenault, South of Broad representative.
I'm Bruce Yeager, Chairman, South of Broad Representative.
Ron Campbell, North of the Broad representative.
Because you're south of the Broad.
Great. Okay. Can we look at and get a motion to approve our agenda today?
I move that we
Move that we pass
approve
the
the
agenda.
agenda.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Do we have anyone here for public comment? Looks like no. All right. That must mean that y'all are doing a fantastic job. Congratulations. Okay, let's review and approve the March minutes. We did not have a meeting last quarter, I believe, due to timing of some tournaments. Was that correct, Shannon?
Yeah, I think tournaments, and then one of them we weren't gonna have a quorum.
Right, okay, all right, so good. So this is the March 2nd meeting. Let's take a quick look at these and.
Did they ever have the home show?
No.
I didn't think so.
Excuse me, if I may bring up a point.
Yes, sir.
This is to the Battery Creek Swimming Pool, the two gentlemen, Marshall Muna and Vincent Leon. I don't know how we can do this. Is there a way we can make recommendations for accommodations to folks who do a great job above and beyond call of duty?
In terms of what,
well,
commending
these-
someone?
Yeah, commending someone.
Okay,
These
well,
two-
yeah, so let's talk about that. Why don't we talk about it at the end?
okay.
Would that be okay with you?
Yes. I
Okay,
was
all right.
Trying to get guidance, I was looking out.
No, that's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Looks like we discussed a lot of stuff at the last meeting.
Move to accept the minutes as printed.
Second.
Any discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right, very good. The minutes are accepted. All right, director's report.
Well, good afternoon. It's been a while. So just an update on the seniors. As you can see, our senior programs they're just rolling. I can't say enough about them. Sadly, today, 6:30 this morning, cry talking about it, we lost Miss Rivers, who was 104. She lived a good life. I only can hope that I could live as sharp of a mind as she had up until the end. I mean, she was just at the center last week, so, but it's still sad to us because we all thought very highly of her. As you see with Dale, the number's at 0, Lynn Brown, the number's at 0. Those two centers actually open up on Monday, September 9/11. We're opening those, so those are our two new senior programs. Lynn Brown's, we can't advertise it because of our grants and stuff with LOCOG, and we wouldn't exclude anybody, of course. But Lynn Brown is geared more towards a men's program. It was something that I went to administration about a year ago and wanted to try, and they were in support of it. We have pool tables, we have a gambling table. They don't have to use money, but they could still have fun and play cards. So it's going to be geared towards like Super Bowl Sunday. They can do their get-togethers, do wings, stuff like that. And whereas a lot of the other centers are geared towards sewing, crafts, jewelry making, and we didn't see a lot of men at our senior programs. So that's what kind of just clued me to go, men probably don't want to do this. So maybe we should do some activities somewhere that men want to do. So if a woman wants to come, because I can honestly tell you, just being me myself, I'd much rather be playing pool at the poker table, than sewing, because I'm not a crafty sewing type of person. So we will definitely not turn anyone away, but it's going to be geared more towards the, the football games and stuff like that. They're going to do their field trips to Charlotte and or Jacksonville and try to catch an NFL game, and stuff like that. So I'm excited about it. Terry, that used to assist and volunteer a lot with the seniors, was working at the garage, and I approached him when all this came about and said, hey, you want to run the senior program? And he was super excited. So he's been out for the last month recruiting. He's been picking them up, bringing them to Burton Wells, signing them up. He's got those 4, and he's got more, he says, that'll be there on Monday. So we're excited to see how it goes.
Do we have any men at any other centers?
We do. We have like 1, maybe 2. They only go on like bingo days.
1 or 2 at each center is what you're saying?
Max, some none, so we're hoping that, and we do provide the transportation. So we're hoping that, that we can get more, men involved in it and have them, instead of sitting at home, have them come out and join us.
I'll give her, she's not giving herself enough credit. The Little Country Council of Governments and state are all excited about this because statewide, I used to be an aging director for the region. Statewide, men are so underserved and underrepresented that they're excited about this model of let's change it, let's have sports center on the TV, things like that.
Good.
Yeah, we're excited. I can't wait. I love the seniors.
I mean, it looks
They're
to
fun.
me, and a lot of times I think it's good to see numbers from previous times. Because it looks here like Bluffton's up 9, Booker T's flat, Burton Wells is up 21. I don't know what center Miss Rivers is at.
Miss Rivers was at Bluffton. And active-wise, they don't come every day, but I will tell you, Port Royal Center started out as our slowest center. Like, we worried for a while how long it was going to stay afloat. And that is the most active center with the most seniors that show up every single day.
Okay, so 43 is not the total, that's a general attendance daily?
General attendance daily. Well, so with all of them, the way that LoCog works is you have to be at 25 or above to qualify for their programming. So general attendance, at Port Royal is at well over 25. At St. Helena, we're at 49. We lost one. We've had people that still wanted to join, and we've had to tell them, we don't have the room, so. One of the things that Hank and I have talked about and worked towards is the possibility of the future of building something out in the St. Helena area that would have a larger room for the seniors, that maybe we could get more of them together and do more, so.
And what facility is that in now?
The St. Helena we rent next to the St. Helena Library.
Oh, okay.
We rent that facility. But then you've also got Scott Center that's out in St. Helena that's active too.
And what at Lynn Brown, what are they using? One of the rooms there, or?
Lynn Brown, so you'll see when we go
Oh,
to
okay.
the project update, we remodeled the back portion of it and remodeled the kitchen and stuff. And so we've got a larger room back there with a game room off of it and a large kitchen that we'll be using at Lynn Brown.
Wow, that's great. It looks like this is being successful, very successful. Good deal. Anybody have any other questions about the seniors program?
All right, so our registration numbers, I kind of went back, so because we were March. So I've got spring, summer, fall that we're gonna go over.
Okay.
So, in the spring, our Beaufort numbers, we had baseball at 298, which were up 16. Flag football was 95, down 9. Soccer was 552, up 80. Softball was 48, down 16, and tennis was 24, up 20. So we went from 4 kids to 24, so we did well on that one. Bluffton baseball was at 489, we were down 52. Flag football 346, up 50. Lacrosse was 67, we were down 12. Soccer was 1,076, we were up 182. And softball, we were 203, up 27.
Why do you think baseball was down?
Travel.
Travel?
Yeah, I mean, it
More
varies, you could go, with that little bit that was down, it wasn't really that much to be down.
Well, it's nice to see
I mean, you
Beaufort
see
up.
soccer was up that much, so it could have simply
Yeah,
been
'cause-
nothing more than the little kids decided that they wanted to try
Age
soccer.
dispersion, yeah, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's what I was looking at, the fact that these are all the same season, so it's possible that some of the kids decide to play a different sport the
yeah.
next.
Well, Janae, I'm just looking at you right now.
Yes,
I
sir.
just realized this was right on my screen right here. Wow, I'm up here looking up there. Fantastic. Thank you for that guidance. All right. I might even take these off.
Okay. All right. So then, registration numbers for summer sports, Beaufort basketball, 148 was down 12. And then Bluffton basketball, 457 was up 74. And that, of course, a lot has to do with vacations. Registration numbers for fall, Beaufort baseball, 198 was up 73. Cheer at 44 was up 11. Flag football at 100 was up 5. Soccer, 470 was up 53 with 41 on the wait list. And softball, I left it out. Just noticed that. And I don't have it memorized.
Everything else was up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything was up, so it must be pretty good.
No, they used. Bluffton baseball, 336 was up 39. Cheer at 48 was down 5. Flag football, 283 up 1. Soccer, 972 up 152. And softball, 165 up 16. Youth winter registration just began September the 1st, and it's rolling.
All of those numbers, like even the Bluffton baseball, I think it was 498 for the spring. I mean, that's a pretty robust fall program. Everything looks up. I mean, are we seeing it across all age groups, or is it Is it just, I mean, is there a lot younger kids, or is it just pretty much
You see
uniform?
more of the younger, you know, of course, when it hits that 11-year-old, but that's just typical for
Seems
almost
like
any
there's a lot
sport.
of, been a big increase in the Beaufort area too.
Yes.
As far as
Yes,
numbers, these numbers,
yes.
I'm like, wow, the numbers
Yes,
in Beaufort are off the
yes.
chart.
So do you have
I
any?
feel like the staff over there has done an amazing job.
Do you have any idea how many children we've served this year?
I'd have to add those
That's
up.
pretty.
Yeah, it's
significant.
pretty, yeah.
You mean like unique individuals, you mean one played multiple sports?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess I would think of it more as, if somebody played 3 sports, I would count them, no, I'd count them 3 times, yeah, just,
Yeah.
you know, because they're doing different programs, so. Good.
Ms. Loper, isn't it true that this is the first year you had 16 and under fall? Because you didn't have that last year, am I right? For
Didn't
some-
have what?
You had 16, you have a 13 through 16-year-old softball in the fall this year.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And you didn't have that last year. So, I mean, there's a great increase
Yeah.
right there, so.
The staff, like I said, the staff over there has done very well.
Well, and I also think, one of the things that we need to try to keep doing is keep, the older kids engaged in this versus, because a lot of times, you know, they get to be 13, 14, they get out of sports, they start doing things that probably
They shouldn't be doing.
aren't as solid. So, you know, the more that we can do to keep programming with teenagers and people getting from that middle school to high school, I think that make a big difference.
So adult, spring, sports in the spring, Bluffton, we had softball, we had, 16 teams. We were down 3 teams altogether, but with the bronze league, we had 16 teams, silver 10 teams, gold 5 teams, co-ed 3, and the seniors 7. Summer sports, Beaufort baseball, we had 7 teams. The softball, we had 7 teams, that was up 3 teams, with the Beaufort softball. And the change in that was, we decided to go away from the church league. It's always been categorized as the church league. And so we decided just to make it a flat co-ed league that anybody could, you know, put in teams, play, and they didn't have to be a member of a church. Some of the churches still put their teams in, and that was fine, you know, but we just kind of opened it up to more since we didn't have softball offered over here, you know, any other time of year. So, I think by doing that, it was successful with adding the 3 teams to it.
Were the baseball teams, were they from all different, like, were Bluffton teams that came over too, or was it just Beaufort?
Baseball, doesn't particularly have Bluffton teams, but they do have Bluffton players that are coming, yes.
They bring their own team, right?
They sit down and the
Oh, do
teams
they
are drafted.
draft the
Mhm.
teams?
yeah.
Okay, I thought that and if someone wants to play, they will get
They
drafted.
just sign up. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. The Bluffton, kickball was at 100 up 4. Volleyball, Shane came to me and said, hey, I want to try something. I want to try outdoor in the sand volleyball, since we have those 2 volleyball courts at Bluffton Center. He ended up with 4 teams, and it was a successful league. So it was something new, something different to try. You know, they play beach volleyball all the time. So it gave him that advantage to be able to practice and do that, and he was successful with it with the 4 teams.
So how many people are on an outdoor volleyball team?
He averaged 20.
So there are five people per team? Gotcha. So it's not 2-man volleyball, it's full
No, it was full court volleyball.
team
Yeah,
volleyball in the
yeah,
sand. Great.
Sports fall, Bluffton adult softball, we had gold 6 teams, silver 11, bronze 16, co-ed 5, seniors 5, and then the volleyball, we had the 7, and this is the indoor.
We made some adjustments, didn't we, last year in terms of game times or certain things for softball, or was that reffing that didn't we make some adjustments with adult softball?
We've averaged it, you know, we do our coaches meeting, and take their suggestions. So most of the time, they start their games. We don't start them at 5:30 anymore. We start them between 6 and 6:30.
Okay. And is this all being held in Bluffton, on Bluffton Fields,
All,
or?
the fall is Bluffton.
Okay, so we're not
The
on
spring
Hilton Head
is
anymore.
Hilton Head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tournaments, state tournament. We hosted the state tournament this year for the Dixie Junior Boys and Dixie Boys. It's probably gonna be the worst slideshow I think I've ever had to deal with. During the tournament, we had quite a few rainouts. Had some brutal nights. As you can see, the staff out there on the right-hand side, all of us were putting on boots and going to work, trying to get these games in. Sadly, we had our worst rainout and had Monty, who's worked for the county for 25 years, and he was murdered on his way home that night. So, had already told me that, I tried to get him to go home early because he'd been there all day, and he said, no, I'm gonna hand you my retirement paperwork after this. This is gonna be my last tournament. So, we were all quite devastated throughout the rest of this tournament, to say the least. Monty was an amazing employee, and he knew his fields. The one thing that we did do is, and I didn't put the pictures up here because I didn't have it on the agenda, but we did a candlelight vigil the following week at Burton Wells because that's where Monty worked for so many years. And we got permission and named Field 2 after him at Burton Wells. So. Tournaments, the Bluffton 8U girls won the state championship with SCAP. This, fortunately, unfortunately, a few years ago, we bailed out of Dixie softball because of some issues that we had with the commissioner of Dixie softball and some of the emails and things that was going around. I sit on this SCAP board, and we decided that we were gonna form a softball league throughout the state for the girls to have something to do, that we're dealing with the issue. We did, this was the third year of it. It's been very successful. But one of the things that the girls, complain about is, why don't we get to go to the World Series? So fortunately, Dixie Youth Baseball is now going to start Dixie Youth Softball this year coming up. So they're doing it at a different time than SCAP. So the girls, fortunately, will be able to continue to play SCAP. They can win the state, but they can also play the state for the Dixie Youth Softball and then go on to a World Series if it works out.
So
that way.
they'll compete in an additional entry to tournament
Yeah.
for Dixie, so they don't have to be part of that during the regular season.
So you just send the state champ to the Dixie Youth one?
Right.
Okay.
We had the Beaufort County Dixie Junior Boys, which was the combined league. We're still combining our leagues in that age group with Bluffton, Beaufort, and Hilton Head. They ended up winning the state championship in the junior boys and went on to the World Series in Alabama. Unfortunately, they lost, but, they went, represented well. I got a call from Rusty Armstrong that was over that tournament and said that they were a class act, and they were very happy to have them there. The Dixie boys won the state championship as well and went on to play in South Hills, Virginia. They competed and did very well. They ended up, I think it was 2 days before the tournament was over with before they got eliminated. So they did very, very well. I'm hoping that the junior boys will keep together. As we're hosting next year, we'll be hosting the World Series and possibly the state, because I don't have anybody so far that has stepped up. So my staff may end up putting me in the ground somewhere by the time it's over with, but we may end up having 2 huge tournaments next year.
And these are also composite of Hilton Head.
Hilton Head, Bluffton, and Beaufort.
Beaufort.
Mhm. Yeah. Summer camp. So summer camp, we ended up having summer camp at 6 sites this year. And I broke it down. So the way that we did it and registered it is the county employees got to sign up first. Then we opened it up to the municipalities, and then we opened it up to the public and did a lottery. As you can see, I broke it down. Bluffton, we had 28 county kids, 3 municipalities, and 21 public, with 114 on the wait list. Broomfield, we had 0 county, 0 municipality, and 27 public, with 1 on the wait list, and that one came in late. Burton Wells, we had 18 county, 0 municipality, and 24 public, with 50, I think that says 8
58.
on the wait list. Gloria Potts was at 0 county, 0 municipality, 27 public, with none on the wait list. Lynn Brown had 28 county, 2 municipality, and 21 public, with 13 on the wait list. And Port Royal was 19 county, 0 municipality, 18 public, and 23 on the wait list. It was a very successful summer. The one thing that we learned through the summer camp is next year we're going to take the age group down to 10 and under. Our biggest problems were 11 to 13. It just, with the way a lot of our centers are set up, having one big center and 4 and 5-year-olds with 13 just is not the way to go.
So we're gonna discontinue summer camp for the 11 to 13
Year-olds.
year olds?
Yeah.
What will their alternative be?
Honestly, we had a lot of them, a lot of the parents that, the parents we'd call to come get the kids because they were acting out, and they were like, oh, well, they can stay home. So most of them we found were staying home anyway. With the number of kids that we did have on the wait list, to be able to open it up to the younger that don't have the option to stay home, I think is gonna be better for the kids.
And we've got a wait, how is a wait list determined? I mean, does each center have a capacity for a certain number of people due to the center or due to the number of counselors
We had a
have?
set capacity at each center and what it could hold. No, the counselors weren't the problem. The problem is the centers
Okay,
and what they can hold.
so you'll just we'll probably have the same amount of people, it's just, I mean, if we have, there's a lot of people on wait lists here, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
The tennis, so Holy Trinity has asked for Parks and Rec Board to give them a reduced rate or a free rate. The current rate, right now, they would like to have 2 courts at the new downtown tennis, facility. They would like to have 2 courts, 4 days a week, and do it for 14 weeks. So I put the prices up there, what it would be now, 2 courts at $50, which would be $100 a day, 4 days, $400 a week. And for the 14 weeks, it would be $5,600.
Is that what they're paying now? Is that what
That's what our fees are.
our fees are now?
So Holy Trinity is a private school?
Correct.
Okay. And I noticed that, and Janae, for your edification as well, one of the functions of this body is to review and adjust as we deem necessary annually the facility rental fees. Those are under our purview. And so this says tennis courts, if reserved up to 3 hours, $50, an additional fee per hour, 10. And you're saying they want 2 hours a day. And we do have some pricing here for schools for baseball diamonds, but we've never really been requested for tennis courts before. So is this a new school or has this been around for a while?
I believe if you look on there, that's for the public.
Private and charter
Oh, does it say
schools.
private and charter? Okay.
Yeah, I think most of the, so, I mean, we've never had a request since I've been here for, a private or charter school to request for tennis.
What percent do we discount for the baseball for private?
We don't discount, we just give them a price for 5 times a week, 1.5 hours a day, for practice per month, so.
That's what I'm wondering, what does that work out to as a discount?
It's
versus-
$300, it looks. $300. But again, I believe, just as with everything else, the staff looks at what's available,
Sure.
because obviously our programs come first. So,
Are the courts available?
Shannon, how many,
That's, you know, they're open courts. You know, that was those courts were our most fussed about courts when they were down, you know. So they've got they fluctuate, you know, in the use. Of course, when it's 104 degrees out, not everybody's out playing tennis. But as the, you know, seasons change, you get more people that go out and want to play. So they're open courts. There's 7 of them. So
And they're probably what, 4 to 6? That's what they're trying to use it?
3 to 5.
3 to 5.
Which probably doesn't get as much use, I'm guessing, during that time? Yeah.
They're wanting, yeah, Heather's been dealing with them on it. They're wanting 1 court with the 2 courts on it, or 2 with the 4.
He said 2 courts.
Okay, so
There's
just the
2
2
literal
courts,
courts.
okay. So that would.
And
leave-
we have a total of 7 courts there?
Correct, so that would leave 5.
My general feeling, board, and we can discuss this, is that, private and charter schools, that's why we have fees, you know, they typically pay for these things, so, I mean, obviously, I don't know anything about the Holy Trinity campus and whether or not they can build their own tennis courts there. I know nothing about that. But obviously, are they gonna have tennis courts in the future? Is this gonna be something, is this their first year of having a tennis program? Do we
Yeah,
know?
this is one of those things, and I tell all of them, Bridges, Holy Trinity, all of them. Quit starting programs when you don't have facilities. Because they sign these kids up, and then they say, well, we need somewhere to go. You know, and it's,
And then they want to discount.
this
it.
is, yeah, and this is a situation that, yes, we would probably have the 2 courts, but, you know, when it comes to fields, it's not always the same situation. You know, but I also understand they're trying to build their schools and build their programs and stuff like that. You know, I didn't talk to them. One of the things that just came to my mind is, you know, I know that when we discounted Holy Trinity for the baseball, we did set them a reduced rate for the baseball for their games. And I believe that the board went down to, instead of $500 for the special event fee, they went down to $300 because they charged to get into their games. They charged for concessions, they charged to get into their games. And so when he came back with the tennis, that was the one thing that he brought up and said, you know, you give a discount to us for the use of our games because they've rented Dale to hold their baseball games. And at the time, you guys as a board said, you know, we're not giving it to them for free because they're charging, you know, so it's still considered a special event. But you did take the fee down from $500 to $300.
Yeah, I personally feel like, the county has a certain amount of resources, and those resources, you know, are spread across different sports, whether it be tennis, whether it be basketball, I mean, so the availability that we have for each activity can vary year to year significantly. And I think we have to, look out for our taxpayers first. And I would agree in general that schools should have the ability to build their own facilities, but sometimes that may not be in their, that may be a stage plan, and maybe we can help them out for a period of time. But there is obviously a cost to use the courts. There's wear and tear. And is this a varsity sport that they're doing for practice? And are they having their meets there, their tennis meets? Do we know anything about that?
Usually what they typically do when they start the programs is they do the practices, and then they do all away meets,
Yes, sir.
When we set this fee, is it just between us and that particular entity, or do they, and that's just an agreement between us and them? Because if John Paul says, hey, we want to use the fields.
Is it
at the
precedent
same-
setting?
Yes.
Well, yeah, so we set these fees for everyone.
Okay,
And then if someone wants to come, if they're willing to pay the fee, then, and we have the availability, then we will rent it to them under a contract for that period of time. How I understand this is coming to us is, they know what the fee is, and they want to pay a lesser fee or no fee for that. So I would agree with you that there could be a precedent set, at least as it pertains to tennis at this point in time. The reason I said the other is I think we can set precedent, but we don't necessarily set it because our resources, the availability and the allocation change. It's a dynamic thing.
Every situation is different.
Yeah.
And he can't use that justification, or you give us a discount, you gave us a discount for baseball. Well, that was a different situation.
yes.
Right.
You can't inject that into the equation,
Okay.
Right. So, I don't know anything about, obviously, we've had a relationship with Holy Trinity for baseball, the Dale Field, that we provided that discount prior. But do we know, do we know about the use of the tennis courts at this time of the day? Is it?
Well, and I'm gonna say no, because
You mean
the
you don't
tennis,
have employees out there monitoring everything all the time?
I do have an employee,
I'm
but.
just kidding.
Yeah, I do have an employee, but remember, we just reopened these tennis courts.
Yeah, this is.
So
this
I
is
don't
our-
know with them being new,
Right.
how well they're gonna get used. And what's the time frame that they're asking for?
3 to 5.
No, I meant
I'd be
months.
surprised. if
14
they
weeks.
No, I meant the months.
May
Oh.
2nd, January through May, 2024.
So the
So-
spring, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty.
So, and I know they stay busy, like I said, with Larry's doing lessons. We also have public tennis out there doing lessons. We also have the disability and special needs that we, take out there to do lessons. So they stay busy. Could we probably give up 2 courts? Yeah, we could try it. I don't know, what kind of backlash I'm gonna get on it.
See, that would be my thing. What do you recommend? You're there, your people are there. What?
I don't wanna not work with them.
Yes.
I do, but at the same time, I have to emphasize to these people, they gotta stop starting programs without,
And then want you to feed.
The facilities.
spoon feed them.
Right.
because then it puts us in a bad situation, and I'm about the kids, so then we're putting the kids out that wanna play tennis.
Okay.
Right. And we don't know, they could be charging kids to play varsity tennis or whatever. Who knows? It's a school. It's none of our business. Well, and I'll entertain a motion, would be that we would reduce our rate on a one-time basis because it's a new program. But I would not recommend that reduction be more than 25% of what our normal fees are. And that would be something that would be reviewed, each year and dependent upon, I guess we're giving this, it's a way to give this entity a bridge in the first year But again, as Shannon said, we've just spent a ton of money at these courts, they're brand new. So I think that it should be a fairly significant fee that they pay. We could look at some discount, but I think they should pay the majority of it. That's just my perspective. Any other discussion?
I'm a little bit not sympathetic to them when they're establishing a program and then coming begging for courts or fields or whatever it might be. If they had said, well, we're thinking about establishing a tennis program, what can we work out if we got it started? You know, that's a little different story
Yeah.
than when it's already in place.
But don't start
Now
it.
we're gonna say, hey, give us some court and give us some break on the courts. I'm not real sympathetic.
Well, I mean, I get that, but at the same token, we're not talking about it till next spring. I mean, so they are kind of asking ahead of time. If they can't get a break, maybe they don't have the program. I don't know that answer.
Well, or if they don't like the amount
Right.
that is being charged, maybe they start looking at some of these
Right.
private communities to
Sure.
see what they can work out.
What did it
But-
cost
but-
us to redo those tennis courts?
A pretty penny.
So what does a tennis court cost?
900,000?
That was for 7? Yeah, so you're talking 12,000, 13,000 per court?
But did they say anything about, are they gonna try to get their own courts built in the future?
They have not mentioned that. And they bought, remember, they're the school that bought Bob Jones from us. So I haven't been by there since I do know that they're building.
Oh, that's right, so they're relatively new. Yeah, okay, all right, that's the entity that we sold the property to.
Correct.
So at 25%, so we're looking $75
$75 a day.
$75 a day versus 100.
Yeah, and so
In
you,
a week.
yeah, and that would be, let me use my, be just a little under 4,000.
And was that what we did last, and you said that last year it was 300, we did 300?
This is the first.
That was
one.
baseball.
That was baseball.
That was
So
baseball.
this was-
Yeah.
And it was a
Thank you.
special event.
That was a special
So it's
event,
different.
for baseball.
Yeah.
Completely different.
I think like, my math right, 5,600 reduced down to 4,200
Yeah,
as far as the income.
Okay.
that's at 75% of the, yeah. And, yeah,
I would second that.
Yeah.
so do I have a motion? Alan, we're gonna
I'd
have to
motion that
slap
we
your
move-
hand.
Yeah, I'd motion that we move the fee from 56 to, we reduce the fee by 25%.
Second.
Any discussion? My recommendation would be that we go back to them and we offer them a 14-week contract at 5,600 times 75%, and that they pay it up front.
Or the 2 courts at 75.
Well, I don't think we want to get paid every week, do we?
No, but
We're
I'm
gonna-
saying if they go past 14 weeks, do you want to add?
No, I think if they go past 14 weeks, I think we should,
Or
Cut it off.
if they come back to us and say, we're gonna just do 7 weeks, can I do it at $75 a day?
I would think you could do we will leave it up to you to allow them to do the rate at 75% is what I'm hearing here.
Yes,
If it's-
I agree.
If it's still available.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
basically take that page and make each number 75% of what it's listed.
Okay.
Yeah, but again, let's do it for a maximum of 14 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, we can
And
do
then-
that.
And, and then, if they want to come back to us, we'll have another meeting. All right, so we had a motion on the table.
Yes.
You want to restate that motion?
All right, I'm going to restate that we will, we give Holy Trinity a 14-week contract that's at 25% rate.
Discount.
At 25% discount for their tennis program. Addressing that contract every year.
Second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
All right, so projects. So we talked about this, I think, for 2 years. Well, we finally have a shell. So here's our Bruce Edgerly bathrooms. We'll have a little bit of storage, and we'll have our men and women's bathroom out there. So this'll work out. It'll work out great for Holy Trinity, as they use Bruce Edgerly. They rent for soccer practices. So
And do they pay a normal fee for soccer?
the 300, yeah.
Oh, they pay the
Yeah.
normal fee for that, okay.
So, but we're excited to have bathrooms, because there's more to come at Port Royal.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
Lynn Brown, here's our beautiful kitchen. It's, I only wish I had the before pictures, because there's just.
Looks great.
Horrendous, I seen them.
I can't imagine that you do not have any
I couldn't
before
either.
pictures. How's that possible?
Probably
use that
somewhere, but
brown
I can
kitchen.
assure you, I would not.
You can't show us the other picture.
No, you don't wanna see it.
You don't want to see the
You don't wanna see
before.
it.
It was really, really bad. So, our capital improvements guys, Eric, Robert, they did a great job. It is beautiful. I'm just super excited about it, so. Burton Wells pickleball. Here's our pickleball courts. So, we had a little bit of back order on the benches, and the canopies, but they're hoping to have them in. If not, they project that they will be ready the first week of October. So I'll be working with the pickleball clubs, letting you guys know, setting a date with council, and we'll have a grand opening, ribbon cutting, and we're not gonna wait on canopies and benches. We're gonna get started if, they're not in. The playgrounds, so.
Remind me, how was that funded? How was pickleball at Burton Wells funded?
Pickleball at Burton Wells, we had funding and we used ATEX funding.
ATEX
Yep.
funding, okay.
Playgrounds, so here is an update on the playgrounds that we've been working on. Took a while because, I think I ordered these last August. Here we are a year later and it's getting there, but it's just with the things in the back orders, it's a slow process. Here's your Shell Point Playground, which is a huge, huge improvement. Your Gloria Potts Playground is an even bigger improvement, as it had a very damaged slide, and all of their playground equipment was the old-timey metal monkey bars.
Yes.
So it's a big improvement. Your Wesley Felix small playground, that park out on St. Helena fortunately has two playgrounds. They have the large playground, and this is the 2 to 6-year-old playground. So, and then your ninja course at Buckwalter is up. The ninja course at Burton Wells is up. Do not have a picture of it. Coming soon, Bluffton Center, it is 95% done. They were waiting on the rubber mulch. They got it in, and they're waiting on a couple of clips for the swings. They were supposed to be in this week, so I'm hoping by tomorrow, no later than Monday, that one will be complete. Lynn Brown, we had a little bit of drainage issues and some issues that we needed to work out on what we were gonna do with the drainage. That's all worked out. Mulch is there, playground's there. The crew will be there to get that together. They are now finishing up Agnes Major, which is a huge improvement as well, as that one was very old and wasn't much left of it. We had taken out piece by piece and disposed of. So you might have had one piece left out there when this playground started. So that's going to be a huge improvement for that area too. And one other thing, Hank and I were just talking about, that I needed to see if, I know we approved the agenda, but we did have something that came up last minute that I need to try to get a vote on. If I can get approval to, do that.
So you want to amend the agenda?
Yes.
What are you adding?
I'm adding a request from a travel baseball team.
Okay. I wanted to also add to have you address also two things. We probably should have talked about this, but with pickleball, the South Side project, and then in general, the this thing that I read, which is the Wooden Partners Parks and Recreation Master Plan. So we've been waiting for this for a long time.
And I can
I don't necessarily want to discuss it
It's a little
But
thick.
if we can make it available to everyone.
Yeah, I was
on the
gonna-
internet, and then discuss it, put it as an agenda item next time. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
And I can, in the meantime, what I can do with that is I can email it to everybody. That's the preliminary that was presented to council. It is not finalized
Oh,
and
okay.
approved. So, but if you want to look at what was presented to council, I can email that out to everyone.
Okay, so this is not the final report?
Correct.
Okay, so you can
That's
send
the
it-
only reason I hadn't sent it to y'all, is
All right.
because it was the preliminary.
Yeah, okay. I would say send it to everybody who wants to look at it, and then we can look at the final as well, see what the differences are anyway. All right? So,
Pickleball Southside.
yeah, if you could just comment on that.
So Pickleball Southside is out for an RFP. They will be adding it'll be the full-size tennis courts, which equals to 4 pickleball courts. So there'll be 6 total pickleball courts out there, with a half a basketball court that is going out there. And they worked in a partnership with the city of Beaufort.
So the tennis courts are there, are being converted?
The tennis courts that are there are still gonna stay as a tennis
Oh,
court.
okay.
But currently we have 1 tennis court and 2 pickleball. So we will be adding another full court, which is, but we'll be making them for pickleball.
Yeah, for those of you who haven't been here, there's a very active pickleball contingent north of the Broad, and there south of the Broad as well. And now Shannon, post this, will have something like 15 courts north of the Broad.
Yeah, there will be 6 out there, 8, and then we have the 2 at Shell Point.
Okay, good.
Do
So
we have
we-
any leagues for
16.
pickleball?
Do we have any
Do we
what?
have any leagues?
They form,
You have an idea?
they're a group of their own.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's good.
All my
Okay.
friends say, you need to learn to play. Nope. They say it's fun.
One of the things with pickleball that it'll be interesting to see how it comes about, because I've not played pickleball, but I've spoken to a lot of people who do. The sound from the pickleball is very loud. So apparently when it's near residential areas, it's a very loud sound. So it'll be interesting in that, yeah, depending on their skill levels, okay, good. All right, so what about the request from a travel baseball team?
So we got an email, Hank actually got an email, and one of our council members stating that a child was sick, was gonna need some treatment.
I can read it if you want.
You want to?
It just says that, I'll hold the kid's name out. One of their players was sick, is 10, was rushed to a neurosurgeon, immediate surgery, family's gonna help. They'd like to ask county council, they asked, because it's the Department of War for fees, to allow us to put on a baseball tournament at Oscar Frazier. That'd be a fundraising tournament for the family, 100% of the proceeds go into them. I've talked to the representatives of Beaufort Youth Sports, they're willing to cancel or move games that they have on those fields in order to make it happen. We're asking the county for use of Oscar Frazier Field on Saturday and Sunday, October 14th and 15th. Field maintenance and setup, 6 umpires both days. We would be able to take care of the rest. They said we are a 501c3, open book, we devote 100% of the proceeds to the family.
What's the,
This is the Bluffton Waves 11U.
The waves.
Yeah, so what I'm gonna say about that is, one, I just had a meeting with Bluffton Youth Sports, so one, I have not confirmed that they would cancel the games. They're already losing next Saturday all day because of the, police department doing a big day out at the park, where they want all the police to meet the kids and do a hot dogs and, whatever, and, a big family day that they asked us months ago to not do anything on that day. The Bluffton Youth Sports, I would need one confirm with them, but one of their biggest complaints is because of adult softball, this time of year, it does make their season very long. So losing another whole Saturday is just gonna add to the end of their season. I believe that you guys can vote on the free use of the fields, but I think it would be up to the county administration as to whether we would pay umpires and
That doesn't make any sense.
Maintenance.
I don't think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the only field they want, is Oscar Frazier? Is there any other place that they can have this tournament?
Well, this is 11-year-old, or is it an 11-year-old tournament?
They didn't say.
I mean, that's what it sounds
Yeah,
like.
they
It's 2 day, Saturday and Sunday?
It's a Saturday and Sunday.
That's a tournament. That's a,
That's a lot of teams.
yeah.
And they want 3 fields
They
for
want
2
3
days?
fields for 2 days for free. And so they're gonna charge entry fee. They're gonna collect, or I guess donations or whatnot, and then have all that, and have the proceeds go to the family.
So,
And want us to pay for the umpires and the,
And the lighting, and they're gonna pay for the lighting of the field. They're gonna,
No,
would
we pay, they basically want us to pay for everything.
Yeah.
Well, number one, I don't think this board can pay any, we cannot expend resources, we can just,
Recommend.
we can recommend fees, or reduction in stated fees. So I don't think as far as umpires, and what was the other, you said maintenance? Yeah, typically when we give these fields up, they typically handle their own trash removal and other things, don't they? I mean, when we do that, they would have to have their own insurance, they're a normal thing.
And let me say this, I smiled, and it wasn't a smile, I was just thinking, you're asking, and I understand the need for this child, and my heart goes to the child, but then to ask the county to pay, basically you're asking us to pay for a term, you're asking us to give and then pay someone else, you're asking us to come out of our pockets, really, to people that said, it's not, I don't think it's fair. It doesn't sound fair. It just doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, would there be a way for them to try to do a smaller tournament and do it on a Friday night? I mean, nobody's using the fields on Friday nights.
Right.
And you got 3 fields, and if you incorporated MC Riley, you could potentially have 6 fields.
Mm-hmm.
And you could try to get some of it, and then maybe on Sunday, that way you're not even disrupting games on Saturday for BYS.
You're saying do something on a Friday and a Sunday.
Yeah.
But as you know,
I just don't think it makes sense to disrupt what we
Yeah.
already have.
how many kids do we have playing fall baseball? Something like 339?
A lot.
Yeah.
They're not getting.
And they're using-
Practices.
And they can
Right.
only play on and Saturdays,
Yeah.
Saturday games are the only day.
only day that they get fields.
If I may say, last thing, I've done, donation tournaments, and usually, the way it works is, you have teams come in, they, collect money, on a day, you just have them play a day, and everyone plays maybe 2 or 3 games, it's a time limit, so you're just playing ball, and then you send them home. That's what I've done before. I mean, I've actually hosted them, I've actually played in them, and you just come in, pay money, there's no charging, there's no entry fee. You pay for everything. You pay for the maintenance, you pay for lighting, so you have some expenses. And then and that's it. It's usually one day. It's usually just one day, having some fun, give money help the parents out. But this
Sounds like they want to operate a real tournament.
sounds like a real tournament, yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, this,
I don't see any travel ball organization doing a free tournament.
yes, yeah, that's what this sounds like.
I mean,
It sounds like
I
an
know
outright,
John Hayes and all them, and I don't see them doing that.
I mean, I do see travel tournaments down in Savannah.
Yes.
Where they're not travel tournaments, but they're made up of travel teams for benefit reasons.
yes.
But it doesn't sound like that's what this is.
It does.
But I don't think you take away from things that are already scheduled for your program to
Right.
do it. When you could very easily just do it on Sunday.
Yeah.
One
That's
day
what I'm saying,
tournament.
One day,
That's a
One
compromise.
day,
Say do a one-day
And they've got all day.
Then it would be up to the administration about the payment and all that.
Then you wouldn't have to worry about lights. They could, I don't know, I don't know about chalk and fields and stuff like that, but
Are the fields open on Sunday? I mean, is there any activity on those fields on that Sunday?
We have practices because they don't get much practice.
Do they, I mean, are practices scheduled on Sundays for teams and they do practice on Sundays?
but all of them, and MC Riley? They probably could move to MC Riley, yeah. So I wouldn't worry about that.
Could they move to Burton? Don't look at me like that. I'm just throwing out some.
Good, but I mean, I have my own, we have.
Oh,
our own neighbor
that's-
in Burton.
Yeah. All right,
He was asking the same thing.
To go field.
I would think that BYS would make an exception and not worry about Sunday, especially if they could keep their Saturday games. So then the question becomes, what do you
would
charge?
would it be appropriate to, allow BYS to make that decision because they have the fields versus us? I mean, we would need, because I don't wanna take any
Not as
reason.
far, I mean, you can make either way, the decision is more or less of the fees. That's where your focus is.
Well, the facility, you're basically telling us that the facilities really are stacked full of activity, and we really don't have any ability to do anything from an allocation standpoint.
Well, if they decided that they wanted to give it up, I mean, that would be up to them.
Them being
BYS.
BYS.
I mean, you could say something about fees pending, right?
Yeah.
I hate to feel like we're putting all the decision on them.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we might recommend the Sunday, or, I don't know, maybe a blended, but the final decision is Saturday.
Well, having been involved in travel baseball, just like Alan has been, a team is gonna travel to Bluffton, and they're probably gonna pay a max of $500 to play.
And that's a lot for that age.
And that's a lot, and then on top of that, the umpires are getting $50 a game, maybe. So, I don't, it just seems like, while I have a lot of empathy for this young man.
Yes.
Certainly,
And I do too, the one thing, he doesn't play in our program. I did look that up.
Oh, this is a travel kid who's.
yeah.
But I'm sure that there are other kids on that team that do,
Yeah,
Yeah, some
yeah,
kids play
yeah.
both,
yeah.
right? I don't, number one, if we do not charge a fee, for use of a field for a certain amount of time, then, they would need to handle all their own trash and whatever else,
And umpires.
and umpires and whatever else. I mean, who's going to be maintaining the fields between games? I mean, would it be BYS, right? Does BYS have equipment out there where they line the fields on a Saturday?
They
They
do.
will-
I mean, you know as well as I do the tournament, and one of my concerns with the whole thing is, like I said when we started this meeting, if I've got a state and I've got a World Series, I got a lot of overtime coming up for my people,
Yes.
and that doesn't include the fact that I've already taken on the girls softball districts.
Yeah, I guess the way that I would have approached this would have been if they came, wanted to have a tournament to raise money for a young man and asked for a discount on to rent the facility. And then if the facility was available, then we could do that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So versus giving something,
Free, and then you want us to pay
yeah,
for it.
so.
Because in the end, we still have to pay the staff, because a staff person has to be there to make sure that things run well, am I correct? We'd have to pay a staff person to be there.
On a rental, yeah.
We don't?
Not
On a
typ-
rental.
Not typically, but then you also have things like, or is BYS, well, that'd be BYS's decision to open up their snack bar or do whatever they wanted to do. Are they charging whatever?
Technically,
So
it's still theirs.
But if
I
they-
think the nature of, the nature of the request would lead me to decline it, that's all. Just the way that it's been submitted in terms of, and it sounds like we don't have field availability anyway on that weekend.
Because I was also thinking that, because you talked about the trash, I mean, who's gonna be there to monitor, to make sure that they actually do empty the cans and take it with them, so.
Well, and I mean, we're meeting again in another couple of months, and of course, you know, I'm one of these that if, you know, with all this going on, I'm sure that this is gonna be a year long, if not longer, issue with, you know, this poor child. You know, I have mentioned to Hank that, you know, I had some thoughts and ideas that we've done in the past, you know, when people have come to us, and, you know, I'll get my adult softball teams together and say, hey, you know, y'all wanna host, you know, y'all wanna have a tournament, and, you know, they find the umpires, they'll get their own people, you know, another team to officiate and, you know, stuff like that, where it's a lot easier and a lot less complex, you know, to be able to do. Kickball tournaments where,
I mean, in these type of tournaments, typically you have the coach from the team that just played umpire the next game, so you don't have any costs.
right, and that's what we do with the adults. So I could try to, you know, work out something that, you know, that I don't mind trying to help out, in other words, but we could do it on a Sunday or a weeknight, or, you know, we
Right.
could do kickball, we could do a,
But that, this, just for, on their side, not to argue one side or the other, this is specific to their person, it sounds like they're trying to run a tournament.
Yeah.
So that's a little different from us trying to help out a person in our adult softball team, or do it for some in the community.
All right, so,
I guess no to the original proposal,
Yes.
Yeah.
and maybe possibly accommodate a Sunday event if it's available.
So that'd be your motion?
I guess that would be my motion, yes.
okay,
So I would go back to him.
all right, so a one-day event at no fee for the facility for Oscar Frazier? Is that what we're saying?
For a
If it's
Sunday,
available, yes.
assuming availability.
And they're required,
They pay for everything else.
they're required for everything?
Yes.
Yes.
Cleanup, maintenance, and umpires.
Okay. Pending availability, and Shannon, you'll work that out. If it's available, if it's not, it's not. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Okay.
Make it.
Does everybody understand the motion?
Yes. So,
All in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Do you understand the motion, Miss Minute Taker?
I was
All
gonna
right.
just said, you got it?
Okay.
Now, does that rental fee include the lights?
No, I think we said Sunday day.
Sunday day.
Sunday day. We're not including lights. We're not playing till 9 at night and turn on lights. Yeah.
This is the information for our Battery Creek indoor pool. So our pool hours are Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 to 12, 1 to 7. Saturdays, during the summertime, we've been flip-flopping from Battery Creek to Bluffton. But the Saturday inflatables are 10:30 to 4:30. Then we have our school swim lessons that are about to start. They start on Monday, September 11th, from 9 to 12. We have our swim team. We have the high school Tuesdays and Thursdays from 4 to 6, and our Finn swim team from Tuesdays and Thursdays from 4 to 6:30. For the check-ins, in May, we had 538 people. June was 653, July was 552, and August was 460. For our Beaufort pool, the hours are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 12, 1 to 7. Our water aerobic classes Mondays and Wednesdays, 1:30 to 2:30. Our school swim lessons start also on Monday, September 11th, from 9 to 12. Our swim teams that we have there, the high school is Monday through Friday from 4 to 6, and our Finn swim team is Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 4 to 6:30. The patron check-in from May was 660, June was 677, July was 563, and August was 672. Our Bluffton indoor pool. For our hours, it's Monday through Friday, 8 to 12, 1 to 7. Saturdays, like I said, they flip-flop with Battery Creek for the inflatables. They are from 10:30 to 4:30. Water aerobics is Tuesdays and Thursdays. This is our deep water aerobics, from 2 to 2:45. Their school swim lessons start in October, start in October. The swim teams that they have there, for the high school, it's Monday through Friday, 6 to 7:30 a.m. And then their Finn swim team is Monday through Friday, 2:30 to 7 p.m. Our check-ins for the Bluffton pool for May was 1,970. For June, it went to 731. July was 951, and August was 1,225.
Can I ask a question? Does the patron check-in include swim teams?
Yes.
It does include swim teams.
Whoever
Okay.
comes into the facility has to be checked in.
Okay. So, did the swim teams have practice in June and July or no?
They do have practice in June and July, but a lot of families go on vacations. So
Okay.
that's why the numbers go down during that time frame. But it's still high.
Okay.
Our Alvin Settles outdoor pool. We were good all summer. The last day was on Labor Day. We do have our doggy day that's coming up this Saturday from 10 to 1. And then our patron check-ins for May was 137. For June was 1,924. July was 2,462. And August was 996. The thing for the Alvin Settles pool, I think what really helped was the inflatables at that pool. A lot of people like that. The classes that we offer group and private swim lessons all year round. We offer stroke improvement classes. Those are normally for our adults. And then we offer CPR and lifeguarding classes on demand. Any questions about that?
Is the activity, I mean, Bluffton was closed until when? When did Bluffton reopen?
They reopened last October,
Oh, okay.
so they've been almost a year,
And Bluffton gets the most play.
other than the outdoor pool during the summertime.
How is the maintenance at all the pools?
Um,
I mean, in terms of the structure and everything else, are we in good shape?
we need more structure, but we're working on that.
Okay, because we do have some improvements that we're making, right? Don't we have some money that's?
Yes, Bluffton pool was the one that was being worked on first. The other two pools haven't been worked on yet because we're still waiting for Bluffton to get finished 100%.
Okay, but we do have money set aside for that, right?
I believe so.
Okay, Shannon, we do have money set aside for, how much do we have left in the pool fund?
So that went through the CIP and, we had the 4.5 million. So once they get through that, because we were gonna add some more, asked to add some more to it. But right now, they've gone out to bid for the air conditioning for all three pools because they've decided that it would be better off to get the heating and air done before the painting on the next two.
Okay, but we think we have enough money allocated to get all this done?
Probably not, but they'll be asking for more to.
Okay.
Ms. Loper, just, clean, what, you said CIP, what are the different funding that we use for these projects? I've heard you say.
The CIP is the Capital Improvement Project
Okay.
Fund. And that's what we have to put in a request for in our budget each year.
Yes, ma'am.
For what we feel like that we need, for capital improvement projects. And it can be anything, as simple as, one of my centers yesterday, I'm gonna put in next year for new flooring. So, yeah, we put it in and then they prioritize, based upon, roads, streets, whatever, and what money that they have. And then they usually put together a committee of people and then it's voted on and allocated.
Okay.
And the other way,
Aztec
and the
Fund?
other way we get money is through
Impact fees.
impact
I
fees.
know about that.
Yeah,
And I think that's the one I explained to you before, is like with Buckwalter being built, it was built exclusively through impact fees.
Yeah.
So, the impact fees come in And the money has to, by law, be spent in the area in which the money was collected, because that's where the impact takes place.
Right.
So,
And I would expect north of the Broad, there would be, the impact fees are starting to grow a little bit relatively.
they are in
speaking.
different areas. The
Right.
Burton area is still, we're as little as, I think the last time I looked, we were like 60-something thousand. But, versus millions in Bluffton. But then, of course, when we did Wesley Felix Park out on St. Helena, we spent over $800,000 in impact fees, because that's how much money was in the impact fee fund at the time. And that's how we did all the improvements to that park, doing the covered batting cages and redoing all the fields and
Right.
stuff.
Right.
And then you have part grants that we go after.
We do. We go after PARD grants when they're available and use them. Part of downtown tennis was PARD grant funding as well. Yeah.
Thank you, just information.
Oh, no, anytime. Is employee update, so, the vacancies we have, deputy director, that one has kind of been placed on hold. We had, decided we weren't sure how to reorg. There's still a few things up in the air, so, that one's kind of, on hold for now till we figure out, there may be some additional reorgs that go on. Aquatics, lifeguards, we're at 7 full-time open positions and 3 part-time. Maintenance, we have 1 crew leader position to fill. We had filled it, and then, the guy decided at the last minute he didn't want it. 3 maintenance tech positions to fill, which is really good. Because we've been at 7 or 8, and, actually have 1 more that, may be going into hire, so we would be down to 2. Athletics, we're at 1 athletic supervisor position, and we're gonna start interviewing for that next week. Kevin left us and moved back, or moved to Seattle. Program, we have 1 assistant program manager, which was a new position that was approved in this year's budget, and 1 program supervisor position that will be hired for the Dale Center. We had to, like I told y'all, Terry, I snatched him up, and that was an easy fill. So, we have made an offer, to, someone for that supervisor position, and, she's meeting out to take a look at the center tomorrow, ask some more questions and make a decision. Rec aides, we have 5 to fill, and also working with, human resources, we've worked out where, instead of having so many rec aid positions, I'm gonna use, seasonal positions now. So I have some of the people that are our standby employees that'll come in, like Margaret Bolden will come in and work tournaments, or she'll come in and drive the bus when we need. But instead of her actually taking up a position, I'm gonna keep her in as seasonal and only use her when needed. So, and I, have a, pretty good budget for the seasonal to work out of. So, it's working out good. Employees are working out well. Programs are going great. So everything, all in all, everything's pretty good.
Tell me, in terms of lifeguards, we've got, what is that?
7 full-time.
8.5 or whatever, FTEs or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
How many lifeguards do we have across the whole? I mean, how many do we employ? I mean, is that 10%? Is that 20%?
Yeah, I mean, we have a good many lifeguards with,
Okay, so-
with the 4 pools and then the seasonal that just left.
Okay,
So
so
we
you don't
do.
view
I mean,
that as an emergency or anything?
It's not, if we could get those full-time, then we could open back up Monday through Friday at all the pools instead of,
So we're not paying overtime to people, we're just have limited hours?
we just have limited hours, like we're at Beaufort High Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and Battery Creek on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We dumb down our hours to match what we had as far as employees. If we could get those, those employees back, then we can get our hours back.
Good. That we have employed right now? Oh, okay. Yeah, so 10, so, well, yeah, okay.
9 part-time and 1 full-time. We have way more than 1 full-time employee. I can name Marshall, Vince Leon, Joe Gary. Well, that, yeah, assistant. Okay, yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
All right.
So what can we do to,
Go ahead, go ahead.
what can we do to get more lifeguards? What is the holdup? I mean,
It's a nationwide shortage. It's
Okay.
not just with us. I mean, I'm on my Facebook page, I've got a lifeguard page that I follow, and it's everywhere, you know. And we pay our lifeguards
well,
pretty well. I mean, to sit and look at the water, we pay them pretty well, you know. It's just, I don't think it's just with lifeguards. I just think it's in general. People just didn't come out of COVID ready to roll like they, you know.
No, there's obviously an employee shortage across all,
Yeah.
Yeah, my question was
segments.
kind of related to that, was just wondering how it's affected, like
Yes.
umpires and referees and all that you have to get. Are you having shortages there?
Yeah.
Yep, we do. And it's one of those things, I mean, we've talked about, you know, with kickball, fortunately with kickball, you know, you have to bring in somebody to officiate, you know, so we don't have paid umpires for kickball. You know, and it may get to that with, sorry, it may get to that with, other,
understand.
you know, other sports.
I'd come out of retirement.
I see you retired too soon.
I'd come out of retirement.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
now that would be,
Anything else, Shannon, with the employee update?
No,
Okay.
we're in much, much, much better standing than we were a couple years ago, so.
All right, so the next meeting is November 2nd. Janae, I had pushed you to the end of the meeting.
Thank
You had
you.
something about commendations, so what are you recommending or want to discuss?
for your pool, who's the pool, oh, Shannon popped up there quick. Your pool people, this is, let me get their names up. They were at Battery,
You mentioned Marshall and Vince Leon.
that's it, thank you. Kudos to those guys. They had all five of my children out there playing, and they were very engaging. Really made my children feel, and they didn't know who I was. I mean, just made all the kids feel, welcomed, and I watched how they looked over, everyone, and I just wanted to give them a solid.
I will let them know.
you
They
know,
are good too.
Yeah,
Benny's been with
thumbs
us a
up. They
long,
really-
long
right.
time. And Marshall is just smiling Marshall.
Yes.
Always happy.
He is.
He came to us from Island Rec. He was working part-time and
Okay.
and working part-time for them and part-time for us. And I kept in his ear, don't you want to come full-time with us? And he finally did. And
Good.
he's always happy, always smiling. I don't think I've ever seen Marshall not smile.
Okay.
Well, I think
Is there
anytime,
anything that we could, yes, I just wanted to, I want to do more than just mention them. I think, sometimes when someone's doing something wrong, we don't hesitate to pin it up on the board or tell 10 people, but when someone does something right, it's usually, hey, thank you, and we move on. So I think it's, those guys, especially the younger one, which one?
Marshall.
Marshall. Yeah, I think, when they go above the call of duty, when they actually do more than what's expected, we should celebrate.
yeah,
And so
no,
yeah.
I think you're right. I guess the question is, what's the
Yeah, but
appropriate
yes.
body to do that? I don't know if the Parks and Recreation Department has something within there, to commend employees. I don't,
No, I mean.
maybe something to think
That
about.
might be something to
Yes.
think about,
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Because we had no public comment today here. Usually at most of these, people don't come in and make public comment that says what a great job we're doing. They usually make a comment of what they're not happy with, so.
Right.
So, no, I think anytime, especially given the situation with employees in general, I mean, we should be recognizing those
Yes,
people,
sir.
and recognizing them can mean a bunch of different things.
Yeah,
So
no,
I think,
I will give it some
I
thought.
think you
and-
should maybe
and-
you can give a report to us or what your
Yeah,
thought
and
is.
then I always noted in their evaluations.
Okay,
Shannon,
definitely.
Let me ask you a question. This is got nothing to do with Parks and Rec. But is Beaufort County gonna do anything for the kids, for the kids in this county? like for them to do outside of recreation, it's nothing in Beaufort for kids to do after hours.
That one's above my pay grade, so I'm
You know,
going.
have you heard anything in the middle that Beaufort County gonna do? It's nothing around
as
there for
far
kids
as
to do
like-
other than sports.
That
They took the
one,
movie theater, they took the skating ring, they took the bowling alley.
The
What-
bowling alley.
yeah,
kids
that
don't know
one,
what
that
to
one
do.
you probably won't need to come to public comment at council.
I mean, it's sad.
They do have the drive-in though. And Taylor Swift's coming, I saw, so.
Yeah, and especially now that with the problems that you had with the 13-year-olds in the camps, if we can't,
Yeah.
we need to find something to do with our teenagers. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
glad that we
I
have
mean,
the
all they
13,
do is get in
14-year-olds.
trouble, that's all they doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So is there a role
Well,
for
the good thing is,
recreation in terms of that?
and I was gonna
Yeah.
say, the good thing is we are open, you know, with our extended hours. Lynn Brown's open on Saturdays and Burton Wells is open on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
So at least the kids can come play open basketball
we-
and stuff, and they do that. So
Okay.
I will say that we have a pretty good turnout on those.
I know it didn't have nothing to do with Parks and Recreation. I'm just
Yeah, I was
general.
gonna say, I
'Cause
mean,
know, there's nothing for kids to do in this county, nothing. Other
Except
than
get in
if
trouble.
you ain't in sports, you're in trouble. You're getting in something, your hands are devil's workshop.
Can I have a motion to adjourn unless someone has something else?
So moved.
All in favor?
All right.
Here, let me.
Go home.
Okay.